Buttons. Shout out to anybody that's got a nickname called Buttons. We got people in the building. What's up, Lacaya BX? How you feeling, girl?
I'm sore still.
You sore? You still sore?
I'm still sore.
I mean, you've been drinking that water like it's vodka. I mean, you should be feeling great right about now.
Yeah, no.
You're not drinking vodka?
No.
You should wish it was vodka.
I wish it was.
Yeah.
But no.
Because you'd be probably like doing somersaults in the room right now.
Pretty much.
That'd be awesome. That'd be awesome if you did somersaults in the room right now. I would pay to see that happen.
You know what? I would pay to see that happen too, since I can't do one.
That would be awesome. That's even better. When you see people, I love people who get drunk and they start doing things that they really don't have the ability to do, but they start doing it anyway. It touches my heart.
I know my limitations.
It touches my heart. You said what? No, I said I would pay to see that, but I would pay myself.
Yeah, how you gonna be the booster, the vendor, everything, and the person that's buying it? You gonna be everything in the show.
Did you not hear that I'm an entrepreneur?
No, I feel you.
No, so listen, man, we got some celebrities in the building. We got K Camp in the building. We got Max Archos in the building. Y'all just scream out to the microphone. Yeah, we took them off the microphone for a moment. We had them on the microphone for like 2 hours, so we about to put their models on, man. Put the models on and talk to the models. So we got in the building Chase. Say what's up, player. We also got in the building Jeff. Say what's up, dog.
What's up, everybody?
We got Liquid Katana in the building.
How y'all doing tonight?
And then we got So. Say what's up, player.
What's going on, y'all? I can't hear my headphones. I don't know if that means that is the mic working?
No, the mic is working. We hear you clearly. You're just running out the headphones. You're running out the headphones was not working. You know, I didn't pay the bill for that headphone.
It's all good, bro. It's all good.
So you might want to just take one ear off.
Oh, no, I can hear you.
Oh, you can hear?
Yeah,
Okay, sweet. All right, sweet then.
I just wanted the music.
Oh, okay.
The music in the background.
You can hear my big mouth. You can hear my big mouth. So listen, we got the models here, and so let's just. How long have you been modeling? So.
Not very long.
Really?
I like he was saying, like my brother was saying earlier, we started off with the clothing line first.
Okay.
I was the person behind everything. And then, like he was saying, I'm an artist also, so I moved out to California.
Okay.
To follow my career and everything like that. And so, when I was out there, I lost a bunch of weight. I was 240, but I was built, and I had dropped mad weight.
Really?
So now I'm like 170 something because I got sick.
Okay.
And so, now that I got the weight off of me, you know what I'm saying, I can fit into people's clothes a little bit better.
Okay.
And so
I'm liking the jacket that you got, man.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. This is Max Archos, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Shout out to the blood.
All right.
You feel me? But I like being in front of the camera, and I
can
know.
tell.
It's not in a sense because like people think it's cocky, but really,
some people are comfortable.
Nah, it's just I don't know. I don't know how to say it. They can probably say it a little bit better. But,
you comfortable in front of the camera?
Yeah, I always wanted to be in front of the camera, but I've always was the person behind the camera. So now I got the opportunity to be the person in front of the camera.
And you feeling good right now?
I'm feeling good.
Yeah. Looks like you had some of Lacaya's water.
Yeah, you know, what's shout out the water.
You know?
This yours?
Yeah.
Oh, wait. You grabbing her water? You don't know where your water? Yeah, he had some of Lacaya's water.
I was going to plug them in real quick, but I figured, I don't know if you was just pouring the water in a bottle or if that was a bottle of water that you had. I was going to try to plug somebody in.
All right, cool. Let's slide it over Liquid Katana. Girl, how long you been modeling?
I have been modeling for about 2 years.
Okay.
I just always had a passion for art in the way you can express yourself through art. And I used to paint a lot, draw a lot, and stuff like that. So I was just sitting there thinking, like, I wonder what it would feel like to be a part of the art. So that's when I started taking modeling seriously.
Okay.
So,
All right, 2 years, and you took it seriously.
Yes.
All right, sweet. Sliding over to Jeff. Now, Jeff, you've been doing this for a minute.
Yeah, this is my 4th year modeling now.
Okay.
Started back in 2013. Yeah, 2013. Took about like almost all of 2015 off, dealing with some personal issues.
Okay.
Came back to 2016, was like, you know what? It's no point to try to do this mediocre. I'm gonna just be a savage with it. So I just got the right connects, worked with a lot of people, you know. Shout outs to Heart of It All. They helped me out so much and gave me a lot of opportunities. It was allowed me to work with them out in New York a couple of times. So it's giving me opportunities to go to New York, go to Tennessee, go to Florida, Atlanta, Paris.
Wow.
So, shouts out to Heart of It All. I owe a lot to them. They helped me, they issued a door that allowed me to meet a lot of people.
Definitely, congratulations.
Thank you.
Definitely. Let's slide over to Chase. Chase, how long you been doing some modeling?
I'm gonna be honest with you. Max put something up on Instagram, but I always like people taking pictures of me. He said, and he needs any models in Columbus, so I was like, all right, I'll be in Columbus.
All right,
I'll come out. But I kind of always like people taking pictures of me and stuff as like a clothing kind of figure.
Okay.
But I always liked Max's clothing. I always supported him and everything he did.
All right.
Whether it's paintings or anything, but yeah.
Sweet. So actually, all three of you guys are Chase, Jeff, and Liquid. You guys are all here in Columbus.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sweet.
I just came from Baltimore, so.
Okay, you moved here from Baltimore.
Well, no, I was there for about 2 months doing a little bit of stuff down there, but I just came back, so I'm here for good.
Congratulations. Welcome back.
Thanks.
Jeff, you look like you about to say something.
Yeah, I just got a shout out to the 614 till I die.
All right.
I'm not gonna bow wow us.
Yeah, Bow Wow kind of did screw himself on that.
Also, today is a very special day to me and to a lot of people. I just want to give a huge birthday shout out to the entire Marine Corps.
Yep.
Shout out to all the Marines, past and present. To my brother, my grandfather, may he rest in peace. Shout out to every single person who has signed up, because that is not an easy task to do, especially the Marines. So happy birthday to all of you. Happy Veterans Weekend to all the veterans and their loved ones. And God bless.
I got to shout out my Air Force because I was in the Air Force. So shout out the Air Force. So somebody want to say something?
My dad was in the Marines. He retired from the Marines.
Okay.
20 years in.
Yeah.
Shout out Pops.
All right. Yeah. Congratulations to Marines. We appreciate all your hard work and services. And then Veterans Day is tomorrow, but we're going to celebrate it tonight because we'll be kind of close to tomorrow. So it kind of counts. Tomorrow. Today is tomorrow. Right now. Today.
Nah, today's today.
Tomorrow.
Today is the Marine Corps.
Today is the Marine Corps birthday. Tomorrow is Veterans Day.
Tomorrow,
But we're just gonna kind of say it's today because it's my radio show.
Today's always today. So.
Today, but tomorrow's today now. So when we do stuff in the present, by the time people do it in the present, then we already did it. So that's how it is.
Futuristic.
Their future is our reminiscing.
Yep,
okay.
Exactly.
All right, I feel that.
That's how it goes. Right.
Yep, that's where I got that.
Here's why I be confused when I be trying to talk to y'all. Forget what year I was in. Because I'll be looking at 2020 and I'll be looking at 2019 and we got people walking in. We got beautiful people walking in. What's going on, beautiful people walking in? They just all walked in and just like, what's going on? We just got people walking in. Like Phillip Bufford overtime still got guests just rolling in.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just talking about it. So listen, let's jump into you guys' mind. So what goes on? I'm going to talk to the models first. What goes in your mind when you're modeling too, don't you? You model off clothes too. So what goes in your mind when you are modeling off designers' clothes? Particularly, let's start off with Max Archos. You're wearing Max Archos clothes. What are you thinking when you're wearing Max Archos? And I'm gonna start with Chase, and I'm just gonna move down this line. Chase, what are you thinking when you are wearing Max Archos clothing? What is going through your mind?
I like it. I like the whole design, everything, the whole flowers on it.
Uh-huh.
I like the whole design, how it has artwork on it now.
All right.
Like on the leather and all that.
So now when you're wearing it and when you're walking down the runway or when you're posing at events, what goes through your mind? How do you want to present Does he tell you what to do, or do you have to embody the image that you want to portray for the design that you're wearing?
I kind of just try and do my own thing.
Okay.
Feel how I feel about it and tell people what they want to hear.
Okay. So you actually talk to people as a model, because I'll be taking pictures of models and I'd be like, say what's up, and they'd be like,
That's me.
Got a new model. Okay, so what's the new model's name? Okay, we gotta get her to close to the microphone.
Yeah, get her to the microphone.
My name is Aijir.
Oh, that's
Aijir? That's it. Aijir. Spell that.
It's not how it's spelled.
Okay.
It's ANJAH.
ANJAJA.
That's
HR.
my middle name. I go by my middle.
Okay.
My first name is
Okay. Angier.
Aijir.
Aijir. I got to work this out. Aijir.
You look like that's your name. You're welcome.
Like what? Do I not look like a Phillip?
No, you definitely look like a Phillip. Do I look like a liquid katana?
Yeah.
Okay.
You look like you could put on some katana blades like right now.
But my name is Naomi Yasudo though, so don't.
I mean, that sounds the same.
That sounds the same.
Right,
you say Naomi Yasudo and I pull out liquid katana. I'm like, yeah, that's the same. This is the same.
Right, cool.
You can cut somebody. I got you. You know. All right. So let's slide. Well, since we got it, we're gonna slide. Let's go over this way. I'm gonna jump ping pong and I'm gonna jump back over to Jeff. Ajir. So what goes through your mind when you are wearing Max Archos clothing? Does he tell you does he tell you the image that he wants you to portray? Do you come up with your own image? How do you portray? What goes through your mind when you're wearing Max Archos clothing?
He doesn't tell us what to say or do anything. We just embrace his designs by how we feel about it. Like, that's what I do. I just like to, just show off their talent, like what they've done.
Okay.
I'm a designer too, so I just like to elaborate and just model, do it. Yeah, do it the way I want someone to do mine. Like, go out there and just be confident in my stuff. Like, I'm good in it.
Okay. So I mean, we got models that are designers and designers that are models, and somebody give me some clothing. I'm gonna put my name on it. Just hey, Camp, give me some clothes, man. I'm gonna put my name on it. All right, so listen, let's slide it over to Jeff. What goes through your mind when you're wearing clothing for designers, particularly Max Archos? What goes through your mind?
Well, with particularly Max, he kind of tells me the envision that he wants, and it's always 9 times more, like 10 times out of 10 what I already envisioned it to be.
Okay.
So we're always like, that's why, much respect to Max. The chemistry is always there. Whatever he says, I was already thinking it. So it's almost like we know what each other's vibe is going with. I always just try to go in with anything I do and just be a savage with it.
Okay.
Like, and give it 100%. Know what I'm doing before I even do it. So it's pretty much that vibe I try to give. And then, with Max, with him putting art onto clothing, I kind of picture it as I'm wearing a Picasso. So
wow.
I try to embrace that I am wearing a Picasso, and it's going to be like within the next year the most popular thing in the world. So why not put my effort into that first before it even blows up?
That works. All right, sliding it over to Liquid Katana. So I'm gonna ask you a different question. The question I have for you is, as a woman, you're in the industry with males and females. So, and you're doing your own thing because everybody brings their own spice. They bring their own flavor to a designer's outfit.
Yes.
So what kind of flavor, what goes in your mind when you're wearing a Max Archos and when you're wearing other designers? What comes into your mind and how do you want to present it? Tell us.
Well, first things first, I feel like in the media, a lot of young women are being misled and they have a false view of what beautiful is. They think they have to be the leading women in the industry. They're not trying to be themselves. So they're losing themselves in that, trying to be like somebody else. Okay. So I just want to just be yourself and capitalize on that, like I said earlier. But when I'm wearing his designs, I admire him as an artist because I think it's beautiful that he's so easily able to depict his art onto clothes and put them, use his art and make it fashion. Yeah. So when I'm wearing his stuff, I just feel like I'm wearing a piece of art. And I love being a part of that.
All right, that works. So I got 2 women in here. I got to ask the question because we've been talking about it for the last 2 weeks. So Ajir, that's that right? Yeah. High five myself. All right. Yes, I did. I high five myself. And Liquid Katana. So here's the question. We've been talking about this for 2 weeks, and I'm going to just throw this out to you guys and tell me what you guys think about it. Make sure I say her name. Amber Rose, right? All right. Amber Rose has this new thing called Slut Walk.
Yeah.
Have you heard about it? So you haven't heard about it?
I've heard of it.
You've heard about it. Mm-hmm. So basically the Slut Walk is basically that for women who have not heard about it, you basically take on all of the negative names that they call women. And you take on those names and use them as words of empowerment versus words of degradation. And hence she called it a Slut Walk. It's really shock treatment. Yes. So basically you take something negative and flip it around and empowerment. There have been some mixed conversations on it, and I want to get the women to weigh in on it first, and I want to get the fellas to weigh on it, and then we're going to slide over to So. So ladies, what do you guys think of taking derogatory terms that are said to women, how they call you? I'm just going to say the name: bitches, sluts, Thoughts? What are some of the other names? Hoes, tramps, tricks.
Say that?
Yeah, I just said it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but these are words that they say, and so she's trying to take these words and flip them around to use them as empowerment. How do you guys feel about it? Is it something that should be done? Is it something like you can empower women but do something different? What are your thoughts? I'm gonna slide it over to Ajir, then I'm gonna slide it back over to Liquid Katana. Go ahead, girl.
I mean, I feel like it's not good to like shame anybody about any of that. But if that's what they're doing, like calling it a slut walk and you changing the image on, like changing the view about the words, what they're calling you, then okay, do it. Be the baddest bitch out there. Like, just show them who you really are. You don't got to be the names that they're calling you, but just tell them who you are. That's all you got to do.
Okay. Sliding over to Liquid Katana.
I definitely admire her vision, and I think she's taking it in an aggressive way and letting them know you can call me what you want, but I'm going to be what I want to be. But I think that you are what you call yourself. I don't know. So I'm really not completely sure what her true meaning is behind that whole ordeal, because you can, I guess the way she carries herself, she does get called those names a lot. So I'm not sure. I don't really have too much to say about that.
Yeah. Amber Rose, yeah.
Okay, I see why, because a lot of people do down her a lot, like because of her being a stripper and all that.
Okay.
I mean, you still gotta make your way up how you do it. It don't matter how you do it, just make your way up.
Okay. Lacaya, go ahead and weigh in. We'll weigh in back on this because I don't think people have heard you weigh in. They've heard you, but we got new listeners today.
Well, I mean, that's the whole thing, because I mean, all she's doing is taking the word slut walk and changing it how we now changed out the N-word. I mean, it's not who we are, it's just the name. I mean, but it came from a group of men. So I just don't think the shock value to it all was something that I would be participating or have my child or my granddaughter be walking in.
Definitely not.
Yeah. All right. So I'm gonna slide it over to Max, because he looked like he wanted to say something. He's just grabbing the microphone and everything.
First of all, I don't think that's the way to go.
Right? Okay.
Straight up. I mean, maybe you should. I just feel like if you try to switch these words, it's nothing for somebody to come up with other ones. You feel me? You have to get to the root problem and start and get people to start respecting women more, and not like we're just gonna take the bad thing they say and try to make it good, because it's gonna be more bad on the end of that.
Trying to embrace it.
Think about thought, like, bruh.
That just came
people
up.
Probably got
I'm still trying to remember what the thought stands for.
That whole over there.
That whole over there. Okay.
Squally.
What's a squally?
They switched the B word.
What comes up with these names?
They switched the B word and tried to make that and made that on a positive way, you know what I'm saying? And new words come out, you feel me? So changing the words ain't gonna do nothing. You feel? You gotta get to that root problem.
Okay.
So that's how I feel about it.
All right, let's slide it over. I see you while we slide it over to you, I'm gonna let So say something, and we can slide the microphone over to K Camp.
I'm about the whole thing about the slut walk. I feel like it can go one of two ways. It can go two ways. It can either work in a positive way to where we start realizing what we are putting women through.
Okay.
But then it also, for them other women, it gives them a reason, an excuse to, you know,
claim the name and say the name.
Not even to say it, but to do everything. So it's like
do what the name implies.
Some people see it, and you got to understand that a lot of people, like 98% of the world, take everything at face value. So if you got something called slut walk, and if you're not doing your research on it, and even if you do your research, you're still confused. People think it's like, okay, women are out here, and it's telling people to be sluts. So now this girl that's doing whatever she do, who was ashamed about it before, let's just say she was doing some stuff that she shouldn't have been doing.
Okay.
And she knows she shouldn't have been doing it. Now that she see the slut walk, it's like, oh, okay, now it's okay. They made it okay for that.
But see, the thing on that was, a lot of times a girl doesn't even have to be doing that.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
And still be called a slut.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I feel like
any man.
I feel like it can go both ways. That's what I'm saying. For the women that aren't doing nothing, that don't deserve to be called sluts, because people that do it. If I'm trying to get at a girl at the bar, not me personally, but some dudes, if they try to get at a girl at the bar, before they start talking to her, she's the most beautiful thing in the world.
If you're at the bar, I'll talk to you.
After she turned them down, all of a sudden she a slut, she a hoe, she all of this. That's what the thing is about. It's not about all of the people that's really out here being sluts and whatnot and giving them a reason. But I feel like it can go one of two ways, and we're gonna see which way it goes. I know that. Okay. And then another thing that I don't understand: sex sells, right?
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Men use sex to get people to buy product, right? So now the women see that it works. And now they doing the same thing, but they wrong for it.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? And so I feel like that's what the like, for example, if I'm trying to sell a bike, a motorcycle, I'm gonna put a girl in a bikini beside it. But if she's trying to sell a bike and she's standing there in bikini, she's a slut. But if I got her to do it, then it's okay.
Then
double
she's just a
standard.
bad-
Yeah, it's
that's
a
it.
double standard.
The
And
double
I feel like until we figure out what the double standard is and we actually draw that line, it's gonna be confusing to a lot of people. And I feel like if they don't know, I mean, she knows what her vision is, but no, I feel like she's not getting it across enough. That's why we sitting here debating it now, because we still don't really know what it is. I feel like until they get like a solid foundation on what exactly everything is, it's a lot of people that's gonna be confused.
Let me slide over to Mr. Camp. Mr. Camp, go ahead and say, and then I'm gonna slide back over to Jeff because it looks like you want to weigh in on it too.
Yeah, this your boy K Camp, just a kid from Dayton. But words is life, you dig? And I got a daughter that's 10 years of age. And I think in this society we've lost focus on standards, you dig? So like my man was saying, you talk about source. A slut is a slut. When you look at the original content of that word, it is what it is, right? So it's like the principles. Gravity is gravity. If I jump off this ceiling, the principles say we're gonna break. So a slut, how we've defined it, she can't twist it. She's not God. She doesn't make the rules, you dig? So what happens is you have so many kids and so many people that's not enlightened. They take that and they run with it. And unfortunately, we may be able to make these decisions, but the next generation coming up and the next generation after her cannot do that. So you have to have people that's positive. And our job is not to do what Amber Rose is doing. It's saying, hey, ain't no a gray area. Either you on the right or you on the left. If I'm in the hood, you the blood or you crip. You can't do both. And so that's what happens with people. They're confused. So with me, what I stand with is I believe in positivity. I believe in standards. I don't rock with Amber Rose. I don't rock with nothing that's gray. I only rock with black or white because I can't read you, so I can't trust you. You dig?
Definitely. I feel you.
So my thing is, you gotta look at the source. Look at the source of it, and then whatever the true meaning is, it is what it is. You ain't God. You can't change that rule.
All right.
And that's my perspective.
Let's slide it over to Jeff.
I like that.
All right, so I don't necessarily get involved in conversations like this because sometimes my opinion can irk people's nerves because I'm very blunt with what I say, but I like the idea. I don't like the person who is trying to get it done because she fits the description of those words with what she's done.
Yes.
You can't go from 1 month talking about what you was doing with your ex being petty and then trying to start a movement. Like, it don't work like that.
Nah.
Right.
Like,
right. I get it. Credibility. You're talking about the credibility
she has
factor.
no credibility.
It's the pot calling the kettle black.
Exactly. It's like you can't sit there and get mad when people are calling you a word, but you're fitting the description. Like, there's the reason why there's a word. There's the reason why that word means what it means, and you are the description of what it means. Like, you got to change yourself first, and I don't think she has.
Nah.
So let me throw two thoughts out here, and I actually heard this. We got Chase. I'm looking at people. Yeah. So so I'm gonna throw two thoughts out here. Here's the first thought. The first thought is I actually heard this. If y'all ever saw Soul Food, have you ever seen the original movie, not the series, but the original movie Soul Food? There was a part in the movie where Vanessa Williams was talking to Big Mama. Was it Big Mama? That's what we call her, Big Mama. Yeah, they were talking to Big Mama, and they said, "How did you stay with Granddaddy all those years?" And she said, "Baby, one thing I have learned in my life: you always leave a man with his dignity, even if he doesn't know how to deal with it himself." And when I heard that, I was like, something that's going to be my goal. Leave people with dignity, even if they don't know what to do with it themselves. So with that being said, I'm not going to call a woman a slut, even if she embodies it.
Right.
Because here's the thing about it. It's one thing if a woman acts in a sluttish way, if a woman acts in whatever way, that's her making her decisions. But I'm responsible for the decisions that I make. And I'm not going to call you what you're acting like because you know it already. Because you're making your choices, but I don't have to embody it. So that's the first thing that I have. That's the first thing I wanted to weigh out. The second thought, and you alluded to it with your daughter. If I had a child and she was listening to this, and let's say I had 3 girls, and they're like, Daddy, I'm doing the slut walk. I would straight up be like, whoa. Where did you hear that from? And they were like, it's this movement that's on. I'm like, no, baby, look. There is no slut walk. You will not be calling yourself a slut.
Mm-mm.
Don't turn. There's no flipping that into a positive way. You just be the queen that you are,
Yes.
and carry yourself accordingly. I mean, that's what I would say. And I think any father that's about his business, any mother that's about raising her children, would say the same thing to their little girls
I'm
and
saying
to their
go
little
get the
boys.
switch.
You said what?
I'm
Go
saying
get
go
it.
get the switch.
Off the willow tree.
Well, no, I think, but see, now that's the one thing that the parents have to understand. No, but you bring up a good point. That's the thing. A lot of times parents hear things and it offends them,
Mm-hmm.
but rather than to actually have the conversation with their children, they try to beat stuff out of them. And there's a time and a place to discipline your child, and there's a time and place to talk to your child. And when you hear one of your child especially start talking about slut walks and things that are popular or things that they hear in school, that's time to have a conversation with your child.
Yeah.
Because if you don't, trust and believe somebody else is going to have that conversation.
But we also have to change out the household.
Say that again.
We can't have broken households and try to instill this in our children.
Yeah, it don't work like that.
Well, somebody in the household, whoever's in the household that is dealing with the
Yeah.
child, somebody's got to deal with it.
No, you can't do it that way, because right now so many households are broken. You have the mother who's going at the father and she's calling him every B word and all this, and he's dysfunctional, he's not good. Then you have him calling her the slut and this, that, and the other. It's not going to work. We have to start getting our households fixed, and we have to start getting it back together.
Right.
Because
I agree.
the only way we're going to get all this slut thing and all this other nonsense out, period. Because right now, how many of us in here are married?
I'm married to Jesus.
Okay. So we're all in here, we're all single. So we're doing what we're going to do. We're adults. But because you're doing what you want to do, because you're an adult, now you have a label across you, because you're not in a committed relationship that has a marriage certificate to it.
But
And it doesn't necessarily have to be a marriage certificate, but just a committed relationship. Even if it's just you and the Lord, or whomever you follow as your savior, or that piece of paper. There's no commitment. Let's
slide the microphone. Oh, go ahead and weigh in, and we're going to slide the microphone over this way.
Two things. One, I just wanted to let everybody know that I do not call women out their name.
Okay, yeah.
That's not what I was implying.
Oh, no, I got you.
Is that when you fit a description, you kind of are that word. Well, that's all I was saying. But another thing, too, what you said about just because we're single, we get ashamed for doing what we want to do. I've been single for about a year and a half. And I think just because you're single doesn't mean you can, I want to say you can't do whatever you want to do, but at least have some like self-discipline and a little self-respect. Because a lot of the people that that I see when I go out, or like most events that a lot of models in Columbus that I see, they don't have that self-discipline or self-respect. And that's why a lot of people, especially a lot of my homies, are like, oh, bro, you be around all the females. Like, oh, you be around all of them. But I'm like, yeah, but I know what they do.
That's what's going on. So that's why I'm saying us as single. Because you may go out with her tonight. You may go out with her next week. You may go out with me next month. It doesn't necessarily mean that anything has actually taken place. It's just that you're trying to find that perfect mate. We're no longer getting to the point where we're courting each other to find that perfect mate. We're looking at, oh, well, you're with this one, you're with that one, you're with that one.
But and I'm gonna be honestly truthful.
Oh, well, he's nothing but a hoe.
Well,
we go back. I grew up where and you probably know this, fella. We grow up in an era where if a guy slept with so many women, it was another notch in his belt. It was high fives. Hey, you did the damn thing. If the girl did it, it was now she's a slut, she's a hoe, she's a whore, or Jezebel, the lady of the night, or whatever the indentation was. Like you said, you can correct it, but a new label comes up.
Slide over to Max. Oh yeah, go ahead.
No, I was kind of catering to what my man was saying, and it's like this. Just because I'm single don't mean I don't have principles.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And it's key that we learn and break down ourselves first. That's what the whole thing about just being good is. You see, it's not really about what other people say. It's about that's facts, or that's assumptions, or that's perception. You know what I'm saying? But that can change. I could be a hoe last year, and this year I'm righteous. But my truth, I live in my truth, and my truth is my principles, what I'm founded on and grounded on. There's certain things I don't do. You know what I mean? Right. And then the second thing is this: the world is bigger than Ohio. You know what I mean? I've been all over the world. There are people courting. I just came from Jackson, Mississippi. Met a lady. She said, "Listen, you ain't coming to my crib. You gotta take me out first."
Right.
My man, who was crazy. We all played football together. All them boys got homes. All of them married, and all of them don't. And they ain't cheating.
Right.
Based on what I seen. So I'm like, man, they enlighten me. Like, man, okay, Kempo, you winning in this area, but you can learn, like you said, your circle of friends. I'm like, yeah. So I'm about to move. That's what I'm on my way next to, because that's where I'm transitioning to. So the point is, what you see ain't really what you see. You dig? It's something behind here that you can't even fathom, man. And I got principles in the dark. I get up at 3 o'clock in the morning. And I pray every day for 2 hours. You know what I mean? But how I look and on the outer, you would never know.
Right.
So all I'm saying is we have to start living by principles, because principles protect you.
Definitely.
And then when you talk about the Amber Rose thing, she started out chasing the bag. She chased the paper. She ain't chased the purpose.
Nope.
You see what I'm saying? So I can't even follow her, because even if she's talking about, like, if a Beyonce even said the slut thing, and I know that's a bad word, right?
Right.
Beyonce started in her purpose. She was young and she was chasing a dream.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a whole different perspective. She understands why to do something.
And there was development along the way.
Development. With Amber Rose, she just popped up. You see what I'm saying? She's been slutting since the beginning, but it started out with a negative connotation.
Yeah.
So the source is damaged.
All right.
You know what I'm saying? So that's my point. I'm done.
We're going to slide it over to Max Archos. While we're sliding it over, the one thing I do want to say that, I know a lot of strippers. I know a lot of strippers across the country, Atlanta, so forth and so on. We've actually gone into strip clubs and picked them up and come with us just to hang out at the club with us when we were doing our thing when I was 91.1. I've learned this, that it doesn't matter what anybody's lifestyle is. You'd be surprised when you talk to people, the reasons why they do what they do. You'll be surprised when you have conversations. And that's the one thing that we don't do as people, is we make judgments about people and we never talk to people. And so that's one of the things that I would definitely encourage anybody that's listening, who's still rocking it with us tonight. When you see people and they look like they're doing something that you disagree with, before you make a judgment, I recommend talk to them first. You might be surprised to find out what you hear. Everything is not what it appears to be. Max Archos.
Real quick, I just want to say something so everybody can get a better understanding of why some of these things are set up. So, like what she said is, when a man sleeps around or whatever, he's considered like a player or like a
Lift your microphone up a little bit.
He's that guy, as to where whenever a woman does it, it's like, she's whatever else you might want to say.
Right.
I'm not gonna say it's right, but what I'm saying is, the reason why people say it is because most men are dogs. So regardless, a lot of men don't even have standards. You feel me? So even if they do have standards,
wait, did you just say most men are dogs? Wait.
Okay, let me explain. Let me explain.
Okay, go ahead.
So you might have a standard, but somebody hits you up late at night, it's like, oh, it's just something to do, no matter what she look like. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Females are not the same way. You feel me? So for you to be able to what?
Let him finish his thought.
So what I'm saying is, guys will most likely smash anything. Girls most likely won't. So what I'm saying is,
let him finish his thought.
Men, maybe in a different time, you feel? Maybe in this time, that's the way it is. But I'm talking about why. I'm saying why this started. No, I'm saying why this started. You feel me? Why this started.
Nah,
so
I like this.
At that time, if you got into multiple women's pants, it took kind of skills. You feel me? But if you let everybody in, it's like 9 guys out of 10 in here is gonna smash you if you give them a chance, regardless. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Okay.
And it's also like this. I feel like women cheat with emotions and men cheat with physically. So for that's how it used to be. But now,
I'm gonna tell y'all a little secret that I discovered in my 41 years of being alive and in my few years of playing the game. There are women who will let you believe what you just said.
Yeah, women cheat better than men.
No, it's not that's about right. Women doing something better than men. It's not about men doing something better than women. It's about there are people that have their mindset on how they want to get what they want to get, when they want to get it, from whom they want to get it. Men and women. And I don't want to make the judgment. I know where you were going, but our words are very important. So I don't want to say most men, and I don't want to say most men will smash a woman and most women will just let it happen. No, I know there are men that will just try to smash women. But then again, a man cannot smash a woman if a woman doesn't let it happen. Number two, I know a lot of women I know plenty of women. I'm not saying all, but I know plenty of women that can play the game on a man. And the funny thing about it is they will let the man believe that he is doing all of his business and he has no idea that he is being played. Would y'all agree? Y'all have met some of those people. Like, are you smiling over there or are you yawning?
Nah. I mean, if you think about it, when a man sleeps with a woman, a man is sleeping with a woman. So every time, if a man has sex with 100 times with 100 different women, that means 100 women slept with this man. So every time a man sleeps with a woman sleeps with a man. You get what I'm saying?
Okay.
So it's always so you got that one dude that smashed everybody in the block, right? That means everybody on the block smashed just one man. So women been doing it since back in the day. Now it's just they not keeping it secret.
Okay.
That's the only difference. Because I mean, if you really think about it.
Okay. Slide back over to Jeff, and then we're gonna slide over to Keith, and then we're gonna jump into some more music.
Yeah, he is right on that. I think the only difference between now and then is that you don't have social media, so not everything is out there. Like not everything was out there back then. But what I will say is that I think we all just need to have some standards. Like me personally, I am so picky. You can ask anybody around me who knows I am the pickiest person ever. Like you got to meet certain qualifications.
The French fries has got to be the same length.
Like you gotta meet so many qualifications, not just on looks, but just on like your character and what like your history.
Yeah.
For me to even want to like waste my time with you.
Wait, do you do a profile check on them? Yes, you do. You be doing a background check on people. You be like, Ancestry.com. I need to know their background.
Nah, it's not necessarily a profile check. It's like one of those.
If it's
anybody in my family, it's that's automatically wrapped. And my cousins are the worst of the worst when it comes to male hoes in Columbus. So if you have been around them, or all I gotta do is just, hey, you know her? He be like, my cousin just like, oh yeah, I know her. And I'm like, cool. Okay, yep, let me just leave her number real quick.
You know, and I'm gonna tell y'all something that's true. I'm gonna tell y'all, guys, we lie. There are a lot of us that lie.
Oh, yeah, we know.
We lie.
We know.
We lie. We lie. We lie to each other. we get with each other. And I think every guy in the room knows. We get in the room and we start talking about stuff, and we be like, dude, just stop. And we lie for no reason. We all know cats that do it. Lie for no reason, trying to impress. This wasn't even a conversation. We were talking about the football game. And while you up here talking about how long you made love to this woman, like this wasn't even part of the conversation. Number one, you're lying. It was not relevant to the conversation. And then you embellish it. And then you try to get us like, dude, stop lying. Fellas, stop the music. Stop lying. That's what I gotta say. That's my break. Stop lying. All right, slide it over to Keith Cam. K-Cam, slide over to K-Cam.
No, I ain't even gonna put it on like male or female. I think we all spirit beings. I think we all want energy. So I think either you live in your gender or you living in your spirit being. So we all
I like
the same
that
concept. Like woman is a womb man. We start breaking down the source of everything. So she can just incubate. You know what I'm saying? The man seed. We're walking seed. So what I learned is either you're gonna live in your spirit, which is the truth, or when I start lying, I'm living in my flesh, I'm living in my man. You know what I'm saying? So my external piece. The same with a woman. I don't seen a woman. My mother was like that, rest her soul. She was so cold with it because she was in the streets. You know what I'm saying? She learned from men. So it was what we do. Our flesh learns from ideologies, which turns into ideas, which turns into behavior. You dig? Right. So so wherever you grew up, that's just what you know. You know what I mean? So the point is, the challenge is do you want to live in your spirit, man, or you gonna live in your gender, man, or your gender woman? So my thing is to tap in and educate yourself. You know, the word educate means eduku, it means from within. So you got to go within and learn these principles, because if you don't, it's always going to be a compare and contrast. It's always going to be a fight. But if we all live in truth, we're like, you know what? Them is the principles. All right. You can't argue with the principles. You know what I'm saying? That's it.
I'm with you. All right, so I'm going to say this last thought. We're going to do these shout outs real quick. Last thought. And I'm going to go with what you just said. That you talk about women being in the room. So I was taught this. My grandmama taught me this. She said, baby, you got to understand that she said the same thing. Men are seeds and women have wombs. And I was like, okay, what do that mean? I was 18 and she was like, I'm going to tell you just like this. Treat a woman right. She going to incubate that and give it back to you way better. She going to treat her right. She going to treat you right 9 times better. You treat a woman bad, she going to incubate that and give it back to you, and she going to treat you 9 times bad. So give her some sperm. She going to incubate that and give you back a baby. The whole point.
Seed that plants her world.
Yeah. So fellas, I'm just gonna say it to y'all. I'm gonna put it out here. Fellas, be careful how you treat the women in your lives, because whatever hell you dealing with, I'm just gonna say, you might want to look at yourself when you're dealing with the hell that you're dealing with, because you might just incubate it and gave it back. Go ahead, Blair.
Yeah, and just to feed off of that, fellas, we got to start treating them way better. Without women, we would have no population. Without men,
we wouldn't exist.
Exactly. Like, start treating queens the way they should be treated, but like queens.
All right.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Slide over. Queen go first.
I just want to say something real quick. Like, the flesh, like off of what you were saying, the flesh is a worldly thing. The spirit is a godly thing. So you can either choose to live within the flesh, or you can choose to live within the spirit. It's your choice. It's right or wrong. You choose which one. You do it, and you know what you're doing. So I don't want to hear any excuses from anybody.
All right, she just said I don't want to hear excuses. So if y'all try to put some excuses, I'm gonna say call Liquid Katana. And we like, all right, listen, we gotta get ready for some shout outs. We gotta get ready for some shout outs. And we got some videos to make, we got some shoots to take, and we got some stuff to do, and we got like 5 minutes before we get off radio. So go ahead and do your shout outs, Blair.
I don't even want to go first. I gotta hear everybody else, so I know what to say.
All right. Go ahead, Blair. Go ahead, give your shout outs.
Shout out to the OG, man, Heavenly Father. Shout out to City of Dayton. And shout out to every kid that ain't got a voice, man. And shout out to Be the Brand.
All right, sliding over to Max Archos. Go ahead, Blair. Give your shout outs.
And shout out to you.
Thank you, Blair.
Man, you putting a platform out here for all the artists, man, everything, man. That's a blessing for some of us, man. I'm telling you.
Definitely.
Yeah, for sure. So shout out to you. Yeah, that's what you're gonna do, right?
That's all right. That's it. All right, cool. Slide over to Jeff.
Yeah, shout out to the city. Shout out to my whole family, my two little nieces, Yara and Adriana. I love both of y'all. And then shout out to everybody in this room, all the people that I work with and will work with. Shout out to everybody. I love all y'all.
Sweet. Sliding over to Liquid Katana.
Yeah, Liquid Katana here, aka Naomi Asudo. I just want to give a big shout out to my family and everybody who supports me. I want to shout out to my man, Bunny Cap. He's going to be coming out with some music here soon, so stay tuned. I'm going to be dropping a clothing line here in May. It's going to start out as a purse collection, then go to a clothing line. So, yeah, I just want to say shout out to God in Jesus' name.
All right. Did you just give a shout out to your man, though?
Yes, I
did.
did.
Did you just say his name?
Bunny Cap.
I'm going to high five you, girl. Because I know there have been plenty of women that came on here and gave shout outs to their man, but won't say their name.
It's 3 years today. So
congratulations. Happy 3-year anniversary. I'm just saying. Because there are a lot of people that get it. They have their boo and they'll be like, oh, shout out to my boo. Like, well, what's their name?
I'm
like,
not ashamed.
Oh, shout out my boo. I'm like, oh, you probably got like 3 of them. Okay. So you just trying to say shout out to my boo and you trying to send a message to all 3 of them. I got it. So I high five you for calling their name out. All right, player.
You can't be giving game out like that.
You know.
You can't be giving game out. But shout out to
you about to say a shout out to your boo, aren't you?
No. Okay. I'm gonna say this. Shout out to everybody who is out there doing their thing. Shout out to the people that's not following the wave. Shout out to the people that create the wave. Shout out to my Bay Area family back there in Cali. I'm coming soon. That's it. The original. Shout out to everybody that following their dreams.
All right. Sweet. Slide over to Chase. Go ahead, Chase. Give you a shout out, player.
Shout out to everybody in this room. You guys are all cool. Appreciate everything. I can't wait to wear some of your guys' fashion. Whatever you guys got going on, I'll buy it.
I'm going to hit you up.
And that'll be it.
All right. Liquid Katana's hair, though, man.
Thank you so much. He actually
hair.
told me to do this hairstyle today, so shout out to you.
I know. Shout out to me because he asked me, and I was like, go with that one.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Let's get Ajir. Go ahead, girl.
It's Ajir. Shout out to Phillip for having us here tonight.
Definitely.
And shout out to Max Archos for showcasing his beautiful designs. Hey, I want to give a special shout out to my baby, Katarina Ajir. She's also an artist and she'll be dropping some music.
Oh, sure. She in here incognito. Wait, you got headphones on. Can you hear the music?
Music right now.
Right. I'm just saying.
It's a vibe. It's a
vibe. Like, I wanted to be cool like you. Like, I could just walk down the street with some headphones on and be like, look, say something to me. All right, cool, girl. Go ahead, Lacaya. Go ahead and say what's your shout outs.
It's your girl, Lacaya. I'm giving my shout outs. Of course, you know my hometown, the BX. All of New York, all 5 boroughs, including Long Island, which should be a borough. That's just my opinion. Shout out to JP down in Texas. Shout out to DJ Mike Hands On. I'm sorry. Shout out to Raven Capone and all of the WTMH radio family. Shout out to our guests, of course.
Thank you.
Without you guys, we would not be here. Shout out to DJ Nonstop. Shout out to my mom, my dad. Happy birthday to my baby girl who's turned 21 on Tuesday. Happy birthday. Mama loves you, even though you get on my nerve. And of course, DJ and the universe.
Sweet.
Yes.
Sweet. All right. Well, I want to give a shout out to I'm going to do the whole line. I'm going to see if I can do it all in one breath.
You got it.
Go from your diaphragm.
I had to
try again.
Take another breath.
And you're ready.
I get some more air.
I gotta hear this in the headphones.
Okay, wait. Y'all get your headphones on? Okay,
yes, I got it.
Shout out to Lacaya BX in the building. Shout out to Algier. Shout out to... No, I can't do it in one breath. Shout out to King Camp in the building. Just Be You brand. Shout out to Max Archos in the building. Shout out to Chase, the only man that's named after a bank. Shout out to Jeff in the building. Liquid Katana, who will cut you if you ain't acting right. You know, we got shout out to So-So, who's about to head back to the Bay Area, right?
Bay Area. I'm not leaving until January.
You're going to do January.
Actually, matter of fact, I'm doing a tattoo apprenticeship because I'm starting to do tattoos now.
Okay.
It's OCD Tattoo down in Dayton, Ohio.
Okay.
So if y'all trying to get scratched up, you know what I'm saying? Not scratched, because that's a bad word. But I'm a beast.
He can scratch you up.
Beast
style.
I'm gonna hit you up.
All right. So listen.
Hey, wait. Follow me on Instagram too, So and Art.
All right.
The artwork on there.
Did I say give a shout outs?
Yeah, you were supposed to give all that.
You supposed to give all that later.
I'm not a shout out. I'm not shouting myself out. I'm just informing you. That's the difference.
Oh.
Yeah.
Put all the information.
You feel me?
But now it's his shout out.
All right.
And also, make sure you follow me. I am Jeffrey John. That is IAMJEFFREYJOHN.
All right. Go ahead and tell them how people find you.
Okay, make sure you go ahead and follow me, Liquid Katana. You can also type in Naomi Yasudo. Same difference.
I like that.
All right.
Different.
Azir, how can they find you?
At that mixed model _ MAKKEDAH.
I think I follow you. That's crazy.
And my star at Sweet Beautiful Nightmare.
All right. K-Cam, how to get in touch with you?
Hit me up at b.the.brand www.bethebrand.b, and then my Facebook is just my name, my government, Keith Camp. Be easy.
God bless you guys.
Hey,
all right, Max, how to get in touch with you?
Max Archos, MAXARCHOS. Let's get it.
All right, Chase, how can I get in touch with you?
All right, my Instagram is chase.yo. If you guys need any Bape, Supreme, or anything like that, hit up chase_sales.
All right. Lacaya, how can I get in touch with you?
Of course, you can catch me on Facebook and on Instagram as Lacaya BX. That's LACAYABX.
All right, and this your boy Phillip Bufford again. Shout out to everybody that's in the building. Shout out to Latricia in Maryland. Shout out to all of the armed guard, all of the armed forces all across the country, out of the country. Shout out to everybody in Canada, Kitchener, Canada. I know y'all was listening tonight. Shout out to everybody in Allstate and Charlotte, North Carolina. Shout out to you. Shout out to my girl in Toledo. What's up with you, Lachelle? Hey, shout out to Sincere that called in. Ashley Nicole every Tuesday night from 6 to 8 p.m. And it's your boy Phillip Bufford live on WTMH Radio. Listen, I gotta go. We gotta take pictures. We gotta do videos, and we gotta have a good time. I really gotta go to the bathroom because I've been holding all night too. What's up, America? This your boy. I will see y'all next week. Smell this.